Dealing with breakups is probably going to happen numerous times throughout our lives. To some, it happens at an early time of our life, such as in our elementary school years, middle school years, high school, and college years. Even after our educational and learning years, people will experience a whole lot of cheating, and even married couples deal with divorces, and tons of them. It's a sad thing to think about because life is all about having a partner in crime, the one you connect with and make the most memories with. You guys might have to deal with a whole lot of problems, big or small, but a very powerful duo can achieve almost anything, especially when they can both pick each other up when the other falls. Losing a significant other can feel like a shot through the heart. Almost feels like your whole world ended, because that's just what they were to you, your whole world. It's not easy dealing with breakups. Honestly, breaks or breakups can actually be helpful in some ways. If both parties are struggling with their wants and needs of a relationship, you two can sit down and talk about it. Talk about wanting a break or some space. Having time alone or space can be so helpful because it gives you both time to reflect on your desires in the relationship, especially if you both tend to get married in the future. It can also improve and strengthen the relationship once you both have taken the proper time to reflect and work on your own problems and the problems of the relationships. Now, most of the time, breakups aren't always going to be the struggles of wants and needs. A lot of relationships end because of arguments, being unfaithful or cheating, growing apart and losing interest, or even domestic violence going on within the relationship. Now, if any of those sound familiar, then you've either experienced it, heard of it from someone else, or are currently experiencing it. I have another video I want to make separately about the topic of cheating, so I won't go too deep into that. That being said, I will go over the other reasons for breakups. Arguments. Arguments happen when one or the other person doesn't fully understand the other person's thoughts or a certain issue. Things can get heated real quick. Having different opinions can cause arguments or disagreements even. If you like, we can call this fighting. Although your hands may not be on the other person, in a spiritual sense, you both are ramming and butting heads violently with your words and tones. My best advice, give each other space. Even if it's a cold-hearted, I want to break up towel that you might have to throw in the ring. If you love that person, then you know you'll have to be the bigger person and walk away. Like I said before, giving each other time and space can be helpful. You'll have the space and time to ponder yourself, asking yourself, what is wrong with me? What can I do to be better? And how can I become stronger? But to think that way is to first realize and admit that you got problems too. I know better than anyone that admitting you got a problem or admitting you're wrong is hard to do. I've got a big ass head the size of Mount Everest and an ego twice as big. It sucks, honestly, and I'm so glad that I've been able to shrink my ego and sadly not my fat ass head. Doing so, I've realized how much I've been so wrong. So many times I couldn't bear to be wrong. I've always had to be right. I have to win the argument. I need that last laugh. I don't make mistakes. I'm not just like the rest of you. I'm stronger. I'm smarter. I'm better. I'm sorry, the Homelander in me just came out a little bit. Pause? I don't know. My mindset back then was so weak. It was cool. It wasn't cool or badass at all. Many people can't admit they're wrong because of fear of how others will view them, or because they truly believe that they don't make or can't make mistakes. Thinking they're truly invincible, perfect beings. Sometimes you gotta get off your high horse, cowboy. This town ain't big enough for two big heads. You need to stop being stubborn. Admit that you're wrong and have problems, and watch you earn 100 wisdom points. You become a greater person by admitting your mistakes, especially when you bounce back from learning from those mistakes. Besides, gentlemen, women love a man who can admit he's wrong. All you gotta do is tell her she's right. Or when she's right, she's right. Or even if she can be a little bit, just a tiny bit right, she's right. Women are always right. A lot of what I used to hear my friends say about their relationships is that they get bored. My best guess is that whoever they're with isn't their type. Or maybe they thought that person was attractive, then turns out they just wanted to sleep with them. From my experience, I've lost interest in people simply because they didn't meet my desires. They weren't the woman I was looking for. They weren't bringing me happiness or making me feel secure. They were not the one, basically. Losing interest really does suck. You truly don't want to hurt the other person's feelings, and I know the feeling of slowly realizing that they aren't the one. It's a painful process and experience. A process and experience I hope never has to happen to anyone, even my enemies. My best advice, if you're not ready to be in a relationship because you know the chances of you getting bored is high, save it. Don't hurt the other person because you were unsure of what you wanted. A whole bunch of people get into relationships without even being ready, and it's only going to cause a lot of pain and suffering. It's good to learn a lesson or two, but it's not fun wasting the time, money, and energy that goes into the relationship. I have seen so many people, so many of my friends spend a whole bunch of their time, a whole bunch of their money, just trying to please their partner, basically, only for the relationship to end and on bad, horrible, terrible notes or terms. Then they're over here telling me about this and that. I'm thinking they're over here telling me about it, and I'm over here thinking in my head, dude, you just spent so much money on that person. You wasted so much time on them. Like, what happened? If you're in a relationship and your partner is not coming through, leave. If you're in a relationship and your partner is being secretive and distant and hardly ever caring or paying attention to you, leave. If you're in a relationship and your partner isn't treating you right and disrespecting you, or even being verbally and physically abusive, you most definitely need to leave. You can try your best and hardest to fix the relationship. You can try to communicate better, understand each other better, or couples therapy might even help. But breaks, giving time and space, or simple breakups can go a long way. You can have all the time and space you need to reflect on your actions and behaviors. You can better yourself for the next relationship or previous. You can learn from your mistakes, make smarter decisions next time. Don't let the opportunity of learning from your mistakes just go by. Don't repeat what you just did. Don't let history repeat itself. Because when I say previous relationship, I'm telling you, you can go back to that relationship that ended. You can try your hardest to prove to them that you're a different person. And who knows, maybe they will take you back, but we won't know. And I hope that nobody ever has to, F around and find out. Breakups suck and they're gonna happen. And when they do happen, fear not. Take advantage of them. Let that person go and give yourself the space your mind needs. Think of it like this. If your room is dirty as hell, clothes everywhere, dishes stacked up, trash overflowing, unorganization everywhere, take one good look and find the free time to clean up. Your body is a temple. Keep it safe, keep it clean, and keep it good looking. If all goes well, when, not if you feel ready, when you feel ready, you then may try to rekindle the relationship that suffered from your past self. This is what I was talking about earlier. I always used to try to solve my problems right then and there, but it took me a while to realize that I myself need time to reflect on why those problems happened and how they can be avoided in the future. I wish I knew all of this back then. Maybe I wouldn't have hurt so many women or even hurt myself. If this does help you, then I'm glad. I always hope to try to help as many people as I can, whoever I'm able to. Those were my final thoughts on today's Yapisode. I pray over everyone every day. I love you all the same. And if you haven't subscribed yet, then please do. It helps. So does liking my videos. And if you guys have any opinions or, any thoughts, I guess you can leave them down in the comments section. As always, ladies and gentlemen, it's been your boy Brisk, and I'll catch y'all later.